What's up, everyone? I'll just do this for today. As you can see, I kind of rearranged everything. It's episode 117. We're going to continue on the Jordan B. Peterson principles. There's some good ones coming up, and so I hope that you've enjoyed or you've gotten something out of. I guess enjoy is not the right word, and I'll get into speech and choice of words in a bit, but I hope that. Sorry, excuse me. I do hope that there is something that you've been able to get something out of this. As I re-listen to this, it's like, man, it's a lot. It's a lot of rules. And at the beginning, when I did like the very first, episode 115, when I first started off these rules, hold on, adjust this more. When I started these rules, I wanted just to go through them because I felt it was necessary now. Before I feel like sometimes I would push the time, like before, like these past few episodes, I would push the time and I would make it longer than they should be. Now it's like there's some times where I feel like I could go on, but now I'm trying not to tap the well. And then with these rules in particular, it's like there's 42 of them. It's a lot. I'm going to step one step further if I do have an example that I can give, or if I do have a scenario where I can just give some context as to like how I've been interpreting these rules. So I hope you've gotten something out of it. Once I get done with all, actually I should have done it. I didn't think about it, but I'll post at least from here on out. We'll see how much we get done today. We're gonna start on number 26 today. But I will try to find the exact video where he just says them outright. There's no context, there's no story behind them, there's no reason why yet, as far as the video I'm looking for. But the rules are just laid out and then go from there. So we can jump right in now. 26. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. Sometimes, and it's the simplest example that I can give because I struggle with it on a weekly basis. Is that by the time you know it, your room is a mess, right? So it's just your room. Depending on your living situation, who you live with, that also like plays a factor in the situation. But for this principle, this goes to let's work inside then work outward. Because you see our Twitter social justice warriors and these people that are preaching and saying this and this and this about politics, or this and this and this about how my city's run, how my state's run, how my nation is run, but yet their house is like not in order. And here he does say, set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. So let's and what is perfect? We could jump down that rabbit hole, and we can probably all agree that our houses are not in perfect order. So until we can achieve that, or at least achieve some level of that, we should probably prioritize ourselves and our because once we do that, we have a lot of things in order in our under our own roofs. And then you work outward, and there's a principle that I come up with government and writing proposals and stuff, but so yeah, that's 26. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. Number 27 is dress like the person you want to be. I remember thinking about this. Even when I was a musician, I never minded wearing a tie, and I there was very minimal reasons or ever occasions that I had to wear a tie. Baptisms. That's probably the only thing I can remember off the top of my head that I've had to wear a suit and tie. Some communions, I am a godfather. Communions, baptisms, things along those lines. Those type of occasions. But even when I played music towards the latter time, I started wearing my coat for gigs. I had this, I guess you could say, a wardrobe, which it wasn't much. It was, it was my jeans, my boots, shirt of some sort, and then my coat. And that's how, that's I liked doing that. It was just enough, like, it wasn't formal at all, but it was just like that business casual attire. So that's 27. Dress like the person you want to be. I never thought of it as like someone who I want to be, but I enjoyed it. So it's like, it's a part of who I am. So that's how I kind of can tie into 20. That's me, But then if you, it's interesting because it's like, well, if you want to become a race car driver, do you buy a suit and do you do that? But I guess maybe. We can theorize all day long, and that's what some of these are, anyways. Even in the previous 25, before we got to today, some of them that I don't have experience in, or I haven't gotten to in my life yet. It is theory, so you can take that how you please. Number 28, be precise in your speech, and that's where you can tie in 26 to 28. Because we're talking about perfect, or what does perfect mean? What does perfect mean to you? Probably means something different than it means for me. And then and going back to number 1, tell the truth. Well, don't lie to yourself about what perfect is to you. I don't want to lie to myself about what perfect means to me. So yeah, 28, be precise in your speech. I feel like there's a balance that's being like trampled over right now, because you can have a comedian that says something on their podcast or out in town, or another artist of some, whether it's music or comedy or anything like that, where they were in their privacy of their home. Someone sees them and is recording them being obnoxious, and now they're in trouble. It's like, and then that person ends up getting in trouble because of what they're saying, when they thought they were, they had some privacy, and they didn't. Now it's different when you're at a more famous level than when you're not as famous, because you're not gonna go viral. But even then, be precise in your speech. Don't be careful with what you say, but understand what you're saying. Understand the words you're using for what you're saying. That's probably the difference too. At least that's for me. That's kind of the difference for me, is like, being precise. It doesn't mean being careful. It just means, okay, I'm saying this, and I feel like this is my best understanding of what the situation is. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Number 29, stand up straight with your shoulders back. This one kind of comes natural to me. Not everybody. Everybody's not everybody. People that I work with and whatever, sometimes they like mimic the way I walk, or the way I sit, or not the way I sit really, but they mimic the way I what's the word? They mimic the way I hold myself. And anyway, so that's how it's to stand up with your, stand up straight, and we're not talking about being arrogant. It's just like, you have confidence in yourself. You have confidence in what you're saying. You have confidence in what you're doing. So when you go into a room and you say, in my case, healthcare, it's like when you go into a room and you're like, hello, sir, ma'am. My name's Andy. I'm here to help you out. We're going to start an IV. Doctor wants us to get you some medicine, and we're going to do a blood draw. And then you go about that. And then, because when you do that, when you carry yourself a certain way, and then you vocalize it too, it goes a long way. Because then now you've reassured the patient and your client. Let's say you're going to a room, you're a businessman, you're a businesswoman, you're a lawyer, you're going in, it's like, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here. I know what I'm doing. I have confidence in or at the very least, I have a lot of confidence in what I'm doing. I'm going to try to make this the most, I'm going to try to make this the most comfortable, keep you at the most comfortable that I can. And then we'll go after that, stuff like that. Say number 29, stand up straight with your shoulders back. It's just presentation. That's the way I've taken it. Number 30, don't avoid something frightening if it stands in your way. Sometimes that frightening thing is telling someone the truth. And it sucks when it gets to a certain point where lives start unmeshing. There's a mesh for a while, now they're not. Um, but it doesn't mean to avoid it just because it's like, because now you be in this, I guess, with this wording, frightened. When using the word frightened, don't avoid something frightening. It doesn't mean like a snake. I hate snakes, but it's not. We're not talking about like that. It's if there's something in the way of your happiness, of your contentment, of if there's something in the way of you being that what you think is a successful businessman, businesswoman, artist, musician, comedian, podcaster, anything. It's like, because it's scary, you should probably go after it anyways. And don't let those roadblocks that happen be in your way. And if sometimes it's as simple as like you as an individual, you have friends, but sometimes people grow apart, and you don't want them to feel bad, but then your happiness is being affected, and your success and your direction in life is being affected. So that's where you gotta start. You gotta make those decisions, and then you get, it's a short term thing that's gonna happen, and then you get past it, and you move on. Number 31, don't do unnecessarily dangerous things. Skydiving's fun, but that's not even a good one. Because, well, yeah, I guess that's a theorizing. Because don't do unnecessarily dangerous things. Okay, I guess one that I will bring up is like speeding too fast. Now, if you're going 5 over, 10 over, you're flirting with dangerous, right? Maybe you are actually in a hurry, but when I see people going 100, or they're just blazing down the highway, or motorcyclists here where I'm at, just like there's a lot of them. It's fine. You see it, but you see it anywhere. I saw it in Texas too, where you're weaving and this and that, and then by the time you know it, you see that person in an accident. I've been on a motorcycle. I don't own any, but I've seen accidents. I've heard people's stories about their accidents, and that's what's kept me from I actually like them, and it's very, because I also think about like gas economy, like it's efficient, but except on a rainy day. But with that, there's too much tragedy for me to be convinced to even own a bike. They're cool. Like I said, they're cool. They're fast. It gets your adrenaline pumping. But it's like, at what rate? At what level of risk are you willing to take on your life? Just for that type of. There's other ways to get through. Parachuting with someone. Static jumping. Racing in a controlled environment. Stuff like that. Versus being out in the highway and in public driving areas, highways, and even in town. I see it within like town limits. So yeah, don't do unnecessarily dangerous things. Number 32, don't let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. That's a big one. An example that I like using whenever I do talk with parents, or as I think, or a concept that makes me think, is Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist. Some of you will probably know him if you listen to this podcast. He mentions children's curiosity, and one of the examples he used in some interview that I heard him talk about was when if a child gets just an egg from the refrigerator, gets the egg, he's going, he's playing, and then he drops it and makes a mess. Makes a mess. Now the parent comes in, why'd you do this? You always make a mess. You clean it up right now. Always cleaning up. I get it. You want to clean it up, but versus like, oh, did you instead of opening the curiosity, like, oh, you see what you did there? You see that? Yeah. We eat that, or that's the inside of an egg. Did you know that's what an egg looks like? And then and regardless if they fully understand it or not, you're not inducing this trauma to them, to the kids. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, because I see the potential trauma that you're gonna induce in them. And Neil deGrasse Tyson sees the removal of the curiosity of a child to go in there, get an egg, break it, and because half the time the child's looking at you for a reaction, then they're gonna base their reaction off your reaction. So when like overprotective moms and dads, and I see it, so it's like, okay, I don't understand because I'm not a parent yet, but it's like, okay, but you have those, and then you have the other ones that are little, they're not protective enough. So it's like there's a balance. Obviously, there's a balance there. There's dichotomy and everything, but yeah, that's what I got from number 32. And even when I first heard this, I had already heard Neil deGrasse Tyson give this example. But so yeah, don't let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. Feed their curiosity. If they do something that you don't like, try to understand why they did it. Sometimes they don't even know why they did it. They did it because it's something in their brains, something in our primal instinct, and he or she primal instinct to do that thing, get the egg. I don't know. Open the trash bag. I don't know. I'm just making potential examples of why you might dislike them. 33. Do not transform your wife into a maid. It's a big one, in my opinion. Especially coming from my culture, my background. It's not that, but traditionally back in the day, when women would do the laundry and the dishes and cook and all these things, household things, it's definitely changing in the world. Obviously, things are changing. Period. So many things are changing. But when I heard this one, I was like, do not, because and see, I don't have a good example of this one. Do not transform your wife into a maid. For one, I don't have a wife. For two, I haven't seen it like that. And even as I've grown older and try to mature, it's like, well, I do my own laundry. Especially now that I live on my own. It's like I do my own laundry. I cook my own food. Sometimes I don't cook. Sometimes I'll go buy food. But but the premise of like doing my own laundry, cleaning my room, cleaning the house to the best of my ability, having a decent order in my house. When this one's like, it seems like it could be easier to, like, let's just say you both work, but you as the male come home to work, or you as the significant that I don't know how that goes. I'm not even going to go there. Never mind. Forget it. Don't transform your wife into a maid. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're able-bodied and you have 2 hands and 2 feet, you can help around the house, and at the very least, you can do your own laundry. Number 34. Don't hide unwanted things in the fog. Don't hide unwanted things in the fog. That one's very, very philosophical, metaphorical statement. I guess don't let things go unignored. Don't let things go ignored if you know they're there. Don't push them into this like foggy gray area. Or if something's not understood, foggy gray area, gloomy, not gloomy, foggy. We'll stay in the foggy gray area. Don't hide your unwanted things there. If you don't want them, get rid of them. Maybe, and again, that goes to what, it depends on what it is. It could be a person, it could be a thing, could be a situation, could be a job. Things that you need to set in order for your own household, things that, like I said, maybe it'll be hard in the short term, but your overall happiness will be affected once you actually get that out of the way and, out of your life. 35. Notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. I'm going to look up abdicated because that's a word I underlined. Notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. my initial thought is I'm just gonna look up abdicated. Abdicated means renounce one's throne. No, to fail to fulfill or undertake a responsibility or duty. The Secretary of State should not abdicate from leadership on educational issues. So don't fail to fulfill or where responsibility has been not okay. Yeah, well, it's part of it is a responsibility or duty. So don't undertake just because the responsibility has been, and it seems like this is more like an actual like hands-on thing, where you actually like the easy path, the easy road, versus taking responsibility. Let's just say taking responsibility in a so maybe I'm trying to understand this as well. I'm trying to understand this. So notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. So, man, notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. So maybe a simpler example could be maybe there's a volunteer job that's available within your work, like within your work, like wherever you work, whatever you do, and the boss says, "Hey, I need a volunteer for this." You don't know that whoever takes this and does a good job. I mean, this can be a big project to volunteer on. Maybe it's new, maybe it's not, but you've heard, but you haven't experienced it, but you've heard that there's the bad rap about this project or opportunity. And then, but for this particular time, maybe your boss is going to promote whoever goes through the project, does it, and succeeds. You don't know when that door is going to open. Maybe doing that project is going to open a door for later on. I don't know if that's the best example. I will probably come back to that later, not like in a year, like in year. I was gonna say years originally, just because I don't know. But where am I at time? Okay. But yeah, notice the opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. To be abdicated means to fail to fulfill or undertake. Yeah, that's a good one to. I'm gonna have to ponder on too, as far as like how I can relate to it, or if I even had that experience yet in my life. Number 37. No, 30. Sorry, number 36. Read something written by someone great. There's a lot, and the easy answer is like, Jordan Peterson. There's Jordan Peterson. There's Jocko Willink. There's George Orwell. I'm rereading 1984 very slowly. Who else do I have up there? Marcus Aurelius. The Talon War. George Randall, Mike Sorelli. Those are some. What Tuesdays with Maury. There's several books by Mitch Albom. That's such a great author. There's Tim Ferriss's books. I've read the 5-Hour Work Week. I've read the 4-Hour Body, or 4-Hour Work Week, 4-Hour Body. I own the 4-Hour Body. I don't own the 4-Hour Work Week. Those are just some of them. I'm currently reading the John Bass. It's a story about someone great. I don't know the people that wrote. I don't know them, but John Baslone, Sergeant John Baslone. The book that I'm currently on, along with George Orwell. But George Orwell is probably a good one. Joseph Campbell, Power of Myth. Those are some of the books that have really put a stamp in my brain, as far as like they made me think. They made me really, really think deep into myself. That's what they did. Number 37. Pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. I'm not a cat person. I'm barely a dog person. It's not that I don't like them, or anything like that. But it's the not for cats, but for just pets in general. It's the responsibility. It's just not. It's just I already want. I already try to keep my place organized. But anyways, Jordan Peterson says, pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. And 38, don't bother children when they're skateboarding. I haven't heard of him talk about that one specifically. But it says don't. I mean, obviously in the moment you can help. You can potentially scare them, because they're not going to expect it, and then they might fall off and get hurt. That's a simple one, but I am curious to see if I can find a deeper reasoning to why you said don't bother children when they are skateboarding. Number 39, don't let bullies get away with it. That's a big one. Because don't be a bully. So don't be picking on people. And, if you're not, I mean, if it's with your friend and you're messing around, you're having fun, that's different. But let's take this in a literal sense. When there's a bully around, it's like defend yourself. I do advocate defending. There's a difference. Defend yourself. I always not. I haven't said it on here in a while because I haven't trained jiu-jitsu and it's going to be 2 years now since I've trained. But I promote jiu-jitsu and not mixed martial arts, just martial arts to help children and adults alike if there's an issue like that. Because for one, it'll keep them more busy, at least so they won't be in that other environment. But then in the case that they are put in a situation where there's a bully, and like I said, I'm taking this very literal, you can defend yourself. And when that bully realizes that he's in a bad situation because you now know a rear naked choke or you know how take down so you can be on the offense of the situation, they might think twice next time, and then that'll help them think twice just in general. There are bullies in those sectors as well, so you have to be careful with that. But if you're and it also helps with just confidence in general. So you walk in the room, present yourself, it changes your confidence approach. I'm not saying confidence level. Yes, it's gonna enhance that, but no, just your entrance to the environment, just your entrance to the room. It's gonna change once you start doing. I promote jiu-jitsu. I like jiu-jitsu. It's helped me so much. It helps me think. So I do want to get back on the mats. Just I can't yet. More because of time and just where I'm at physically in as far as location. So yeah, don't let bullies get away with it. Number 40, write a letter to the government if you see something that needs fixing and propose a solution. This one I'd like to send out to all not my Twitter followers, but just to Twitter in general, because I don't have a Facebook. My Instagram is pretty closed and niched off pretty much. So I do scroll. I have gone back on Twitter as of the past 2-3 weeks. I don't think it's been a month yet, but 2-3 weeks for sure. And there's a lot of social justice warriors out there and a lot of people who have their opinions about what they think is right. So then do it. And if you have a problem with the government anyways, then, just fix your home and just live your life. That's my proposal as far as solution. It's like, if you think, oh, the government's just it's a ploy, then don't. But then you can't complain about it. Yeah, just if you see a problem, Dr. Peterson saying, write a letter to the government and propose a solution. That could be your obviously your senator, your representative, whoever your representative is. You write a letter to them. Hopefully it gets to them. Maybe someone that could get it to them. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. And then propose a solution. That's the very least you can do. And I think he mentioned this one. It's more the principle of thinking about your writing, because now you're writing to someone of a different lifestyle, different level, different everything, different way of living. So propose a solution is probably my biggest thing from these social justice wars that I see. Number 41, remember that what you do. What the heck? I messed this one up. Remember that what you do. Okay, remember that what you do not know yet is more important than what you already know. That goes back to Socrates. The only wisdom is knowing you know nothing. So remember that what you do not yet know is more important than what you already know. That one's simple for me. Because even when I get asked questions, it's I got asked actually that is like, how are you with splints? I was like, but that's just me. Because when I go and see what I need to get done, then I will do the best of my ability, and then from there I will ask questions. I usually if it arises, I'll do it before I talk with a patient because I'm trying to go in there, and even sometimes I'll say, hey, can you do this one, and I'll assist you, and then I'll do the next one. That's a simple example. That's because that's kind of the way things are. Because I still believe that the best way to get better at things is to do them. So that's how that works. That's how it works for me. And also it'll keep us humbling. It'll humble us a little bit because it's like, oh yeah, I don't know how to do X, Y, or Z. I don't know how to type this paper. I don't know a solution yet. Going back to number 40 as far as propose a solution for your government if there's a problem that needs fixing. There's just stay humble, and that's where the stay humble and just always keep learning, always keep asking questions, to enhance your ability to do whatever it is that you do as a profession or at home or a hobby. And you can do that. Last one. Number 42. Be grateful in spite of your suffering. And that's even when I heard it for the first time, this current time before I started doing these episodes, it's like, yeah, be grateful, and we have to, because this goes back to life and other things that I've talked about with friends and on here with friends like on the podcast. It's like sometimes we do go down that cliche rabbit hole of we only have one life, and we should do everything in our powers to be happy. But in this case, be grateful, because, and that's where it comes down to, like, your little social circle, which should, I guess in my opinion, should only be a few people, because everybody else, it's okay to know a bunch of people, but as far as the people you can confide in, the people that you trust with the good news, with the bad news, the people that you can tell them, hey, I got the promotion, you guys celebrate, and then you celebrate for the next person, versus hey, I got the I got the promotion, I got a promotion, I got more money than you. It's like, cool, but like, this is like, I'm excited, I earned this promotion, in my job, and whether you actually feel that or not, I feel like there's a subconscious thing where it's like, yeah, like you're happy because you worked your ass off for whatever it is, and now you're being, now it's being downplayed because, this other person, I already do that, or I already make this much, I already make that much, or I already make more than that. That's just some brief examples, but be grateful and inspire yourself. I think it's a good way to end this podcast too. It went a little bit longer, but I couldn't see myself making another episode with these rules. Hopefully some of these, maybe you have an example and you can present it to me. You can send me an email. You can send me a Instagram message, with your examples. But yeah, I think be grateful in spite of your suffering, because, things come about that we can't, foresee. So because of that, we should have we should have at least a chunk of our daily schedules, our daily lives, our daily interactions, our daily, not a daily, but our actual immediate social circles, which is usually the 5 people that you're around with the most. Excuse me. It's usually the 5 people that you're around with the most, the most often, will kind of dictate how you are as a person in those moments, in that time frame. But we can always be grateful. And when we're grateful, it helps us just move on. Maybe we're suffering today for whatever. It could be a number, death, loss of a job. Maybe we're just not feeling good. Maybe you're actually physically sick. But then if you think about all the good things, or if you have those good memories that help you just kind of get out of that funk, that helps you be grateful. Helps me be grateful. Helps all of us be grateful, and then we just move, and then we move on. You make a decision about what you're gonna do next, and then hopefully that leads to just some more happiness, another episode of happiness. So yeah, thanks for tuning in today. I hope that of all these 42, hopefully you've gotten even one or two per episode. I don't think that's a lot. Don't know 6 maybe a total out of the 42. There's 12 rules for life. I already ordered my book Beyond Order. It came out this past Tuesday, or it came out a week ago. By the time you see this, it came out a week ago. But I ordered mine. It was actually easier and cheaper than driving to a Barnes and Noble or like a bookstore. But yeah, I ordered mine Beyond Order. 12 more rules for life. Honestly, I get no like advertisement, or I don't get no type of compensation. This is me just trying to promote books and theories and ideas that have helped me live my life at least a little better, or want to live my life a little better. I think that's all I got for now. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. If you made it through all 3 episodes of these 42 rules, again, I hope you got something out of it, but I appreciate it. I thank you. I am grateful, and I'm not suffering right now, but thank you for tuning in, because it's a lot. It's a lot of information. Again, even for me, for some of these theories and life principles that he created, Dr. Peterson created, it's a lot to kind of take in and digest. So hopefully we can take these and run with them, and then see where it leads us. So yeah, remember, take care of yourself mentally and physically. Take care of your teams, take care of your people, take care of your families, take care of your household. You want to have your household in the best order possible. And we'll see you all very, very soon.